We are just going to get to it here because I just want to start the interview off by telling Seth Greenberg of ESPN, who's on the air with us right now, how much I appreciate him making time for us on what I know is a very busy morning for him because I have one of the TVs in my office, ESPN on. He's been on TV all morning, making time for us now at 11 a.m. Eastern on this Wednesday after round one of the NBA draft. So, Seth, a sincere thank you from me, Nick Kostos, to you. How's it going this morning? I really appreciate it.
Life is good, except I'm right now on 9A trying to get out of here and get back to Connecticut, and I'm going to visit with you and then Dan Patrick, and then try to shut it down so I can get home as quickly as possible because it's been a grind.
No, and I really appreciate it, and I thought like your analysis of the draft has been great, and I'm excited to discuss it with you right now. And I want to start with this, Seth, just before we get micro and talk about players and teams, just overall. And I want to be careful with how I say this. I don't want to get too over my skis here because it's possible the games will be played and none of these guys will be that great. I don't think that'll be the case, but just to say, you never know. As I'm watching the draft last night, and I'm thinking about it this morning before the show, I'm so positive about all of it and optimistic about it. And I think this has the chance to be a transformative draft for so many teams that picked early. Do you see it that way where, like, I woke up this morning, I don't really dislike much of what happened last night. Absolutely loaded draft. I'm so excited to watch these players. Do you feel that level of excitement that I do about the first rounds of the draft?
Yeah, I do. They're as impressive as people as they are as players. We interviewed all those guys as they came off the stage on radio, and one after another, I kept on turning to, Corey and PJ. Said, "Damn, those guys are impressive." But look, they have been raised the right way. A lot of those guys have been raised through USA Basketball. They've got great parental guidance. They have incredible approaches to the game. They love the game. They're lost in the game. Their maturity is far exceeding their age. And they all have a chance. Now, look, part of that is having a chance, and then part of it is getting a chance. So they have a chance because they've been drafted. Now they've got to see when they get their chance, and will people be patient? It's not as easy as it looks on. But there's a very special group coming into the NBA.
And there's no question about it. And that group headlined, of course, by AJ Dybantsa of BYU, who goes number 1 overall to the Washington Wizards. Coach, how do you project AJ Dybantsa at the next level? I think he's going to be a monster early for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, he's going to be a monster early. I like him as a small ball 4. Is what I like him as, because then all of a sudden you put him in ball screens with guards, and he can turn the corner, he can see over the defense, he can make plays, defensive rebounds, a fast break. He could be a great defender. He's got to be a more committed defender. But yeah, he's an incredible talent. Now, part of that situation is very, very simple. As good as he is, that the organization he's playing for has got to get their stuff together. What are they going to do with AD? You give Trae Young all that money. How are you going to manage that? How are you going to get him to play winning basketball? We know that he points and assists and all those numbers are great, but what about the hockey assist? What about the advanced pass up the court? What about the simple play? So he's an incredible talent. Getting him to play real winning basketball, I think that's going to be the challenge. And AJ is going to have to coexist in that environment.
I think that what you said there, small ball 4 for AJ Dybantsa, is so fascinating. Just future team building for Washington with AD and obviously Alex Sarr on the roster. Feels like something may have to give there, whether it's this offseason or moving forward for the Washington Wizards. Let's move on, Seth, to the second pick in the draft, Darryn Peterson. And the omnipresent story line around Peterson is not like, is he a great player? I think everyone thinks he is. Just that after what happened at Kansas last year, some of the weird stuff with the injuries, the creatine, etc., like, what's this going to look like at the pro level? What do you think this is going to look like at the pro level for Darryn Peterson now in Utah with the Jazz?
He's going to be a bucket. He's going to be an NBA All-Star. He's going to be a guy, in our interview with him, said his goal is to play 82 games. A guy that is uniquely talented. Guy that has heard all of the conversation. I think the situation at Kansas was not ideal for him, and I'm not sure he ever felt really comfortable. And he made some bad decisions. And his sports group and people that were guiding him and helping him navigate this transition made some bad decisions. But once the ball goes up, and now that he's an NBA player, It's all different, man. It's all different. And talent overcomes a lot of things, and he's got a ridiculous talent, and he's got a gift to make threes and shots. He makes tough guarded shots.
I'm guessing you agree with this. I think you may have even said this on ESPN, and it feels like everyone has kind of reached this consensus opinion that Cam Boozer, as this draft process went along, actually kind of became underrated a little bit. And how many drafts would he have been the first overall pick? He goes third overall last night. And I know I'm repeating myself a little bit here. How is this not like a grand slam home run for the Memphis Grizzlies? Am I missing something here, Coach, or do you agree with that assessment?
No, I agree with you. He, as a person, as a player, as maturity, we undervalue him because he's not this freak running jumping dude. All he does, if you break down his analytics are just absolutely stupid. Guy knows how to play. He knows how to get angles. He finishes around the basket. He can pick and pop. He can move his feet defensively. And the ball hits his hands, he owns it. He's a plug-and-play 19 and 10 kind of guy. He'll have a career double-double statistics. I think the guy's terrific. And they need high-character winning players. They got to figure out a way to utilize John Morant in terms of getting the best out of John Morant, getting him to be the person I knew him when he was at Murray State. They can do that. This is a great start.
What'd you make of the Bulls last night, Seth?
Home run. Absolute home run. Caleb Wilson, home run. Dalen Swain, home run. Versatile, offensively and defensively. People forget he led Texas in points, rebounds, assists, steals. I mean, home run. They drafted two guys that are really good, tough, winning players.
Would you have liked to see picks, even if we acknowledge that all the players are going to be good, picks 5 through 7 go differently in any respect, with Wagler going 5, Michael Brown going 6, and Darius Acuff going 7?
Yeah, I would. I mean, the Nets obviously like Benham as their point guard. If not, they would have drafted Darius Acuff because he's more of a point guard, ball guard, scoring point guard. Michael can swing more, probably more of a shot maker, jump shooter, I should say, but can play the point. But I'm a big Darius Acuff fan.
Yeah, I think Acuff's going to be awesome. Just 2 more quick ones for you here. What did you make of what the Thunder and the Spurs did last night, Coach, in round 1 of the draft?
Well, the Thunder drafted a guy that is an insurance policy deciding on what Hartenstein's going to do, and Bennett Sturts, who gives him another just high character, low mistake, solid guard that can make shots and is tough and physical and fits their culture. And then I thought the Spurs did a great job. I'm a big Paris Reed fan. I think he's gotten so much better. But Jaden Quinn is the X factor because his growth and his potential and how good he could be as a rim protector and a policeman for Webby, his shot blocking, his athleticism, I thought they did that in the park.
Final question, Coach, and really appreciate the time while you're in transit. Thank you. Second rounds of the draft tonight, some notable names still on the board, whether it's Duke's Isaiah Evans, North Carolina's Vasar, right, the center. What are you looking at tonight as a storyline or two that you're watching for night 2, round 2 of the NBA draft?
Yeah, where Malik Thomas goes, where Vasar goes, obviously where Isaiah Evans goes. Those 4 guys probably have regrets because the money they would have made next year in college would have been off the charts. But there'll be guys that will emerge. There are other players, I don't have my list right in front of me, but there are good players that are available. And there's always second-round picks that emerge. And there will be second-round picks that emerge. I think the one storyline that's most interesting is the fewest international guys, true international guys we've had in a long time. And the reason being is college basketball has become, instead of a draft and stash, these kids are going right to college from overseas, getting paid and being evaluated in college as opposed to being stashed and staying overseas and playing for their club teams.
Coach, you're always generous with your time. I know that it's been very busy for you this morning and you're on the road right now. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Get home safely. We'll catch up with you down the line.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
The coach, Seth Greenberg, joining us here on You Better You Bet. That is a nice guy. On ESPN all morning, driving home, going to do a hit with Dan Patrick, makes time for us here on Westwood One Sports. You absolutely love that. So really appreciate the coach, Seth Greenberg, here on You Better You Bet.